fans of Hrithik and Tamannaah. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Xerxes. Thank you very much. It's indeed a matter of great honor and privilege to be interacting with the magnificent team behind this epic series. And I think the time has come. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our incredible showrunner, Mr. J.D. Payne. Oh, here. Welcome.
Welcome.
Oh, okay.
Hrithik, Tamannaah, thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you. Welcome to India, Mr. Payne. Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited and delighted that you are here.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be in India, and I feel like I had a very warm welcome. I had a few minutes to wander the streets, and like 2 minutes after I got out of my car, a holy man walked up to me and put a dot on my forehead and tied a bracelet around me and gave me a blessing. So, I instantly felt blessed and welcomed in your country. So thank you.
That says it all. It's going to be a huge success now.
I believe it.
That's how it works. Well, this is such an incredible, aspiring piece of work. I just saw the trailer and I'm completely blown. Absolutely incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me, I was just, what was your experience of encountering Tolkien's work? And what does Tolkien mean to you?
So I came to Tolkien by way of the Peter Jackson films. I saw them first when I was in my early 20s. And they were one of the few films that came out when I was an adult that got into my heart the way that films used to when I was a kid. And from there I did the deep dive and read all the books and you know, got super into it. And now they've woven themselves into the fabric of my life. Very rare does a day go by that I don't reference something happening in my life by way of Lord of the Rings, saying I feel like Frodo carrying the ring today, or you know, when weddings or funerals come along, Tolkien quotes always make their way into my toasts or eulogies, so Tolkien is just part of my soul.
I can see the passion, and it shows in your work. And you have your incredible cast here with you.
Oh, they're absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for
incredible.
you to meet them.
I've always believed that, you know, casting is one of the most difficult aspects of filmmaking. How was this process for you? How difficult was it for you?
Well, so we knew we had to get this right. The story we're telling is an amazing story. It's Tolkien's untold story of the Second Age. So we're telling the story of the forging of the Rings of Power, the rise of the Dark Lord Sauron, the fall of Numenor, and finally the last alliance of elves and men. And so to be able to bring that really to life, we knew we needed a cast that was really special. And so we had really two criteria for our cast. And one, they had to be amazing performers, but two, they had to have Middle-earth in them. You had to look in their eyes and feel like they could have stepped out of a magical portal and been from Middle-earth transported to our world. And so we auditioned hundreds and hundreds of people for every single role and found 22 needles in 22 haystacks.
That's incredible. How long was the process?
For quite a long time. I mean, it took basically a year to find, you know, our entire cast.
That's incredible, absolutely incredible. And is this the first time that you're working with Amazon Studios?
Yes.
What was that experience like?
Amazing. So Amazon decided that they wanted to put on this enormous adaptation of Tolkien, and they had a huge ambition, and our ambition matched their appetite for what they wanted to do. They went out and got the rights to it, and then they basically said it's a wide open field, and so they opened it up to Hollywood to say, like, who has an idea for how they'd like to take this material and tell a story. And my partner and I came in and pitched a way in, and they got excited about it, and since then they have been incredibly supportive. They've given every resource necessary to realize Tolkien's imagination on the grandest scale possible.
Wow, that's incredible.
They're amazing. It's been, we've been very, very, very fortunate.
I'm so glad you had a great experience.
I mean, it was a fantastic experience. Like, you know, and I've worked with every studio in town in Hollywood, and Amazon has been amazingly supportive.
I have one last question. How many days did it take you to shoot?
Oh gosh, it was well, you know, so we had COVID that was in the middle of it. So we shot 20 some odd days, and then COVID you know, interrupted us, and we were on a hiatus for about 6 months. And then so I mean, it depends on how you count first unit days, second unit days, stunt days, VFX days, but something like 300-ish.
Count them all.
Sort of 300-ish. You know, yeah. And so a gargantuan schedule.
I'd say that's inspiring.
Guys, can you imagine my state as to how badly I'm fangirling right now? Like, J.D. Payne, Hrithik, Roshan. Jiri Payne, welcome to India. How has it been for you? I really want to know.
Oh, it's been fantastic. It's been really fantastic. I've dreamed of coming to India my entire life. I've admired this entire country from afar and had Indian friends since I was a young boy. My first Indian friend was Aviv Bhatia that I used to play soccer and football with when we were 10 years old, and I've had Indian friends ever since, and so it's beautiful to finally come to this wonderful, wonderful place.
I'm so glad you feel that way. Now, I'm going to dare and ask you this question. You are an epic storyteller. Star Trek, guys, there's nobody who hasn't seen it. It's not possible. So, I mean, this is something that's a familiar ground for you in terms of scale and, storytelling. But was it daunting for you to attempt material that has fan following, which is so widespread, and for them, this material is so sacred? Also, was it any kind of pressure while you were attempting Tolkien's work?
Well, I mean, the biggest pressure was the pressure that Patrick and I put on ourselves, simply because there's such a need for what Middle-earth can bring to our world. There's a real darkness in our world right now. There's a lot of people who are in a lot of pain. Political darkness, economic darkness, social darkness, just a lot of challenges. And Middle-earth speaks to people in their soul. It's one of the reasons why Tolkien's work has been, next to like the Bible, the Quran, and certain writings of Mao Zedong, Tolkien has been the most selling work of all time. And I think that's because no matter what country people come from, no matter what background they have, when people find Tolkien, it goes past all of those other things and finds them in their heart and in their soul. And so we felt like we needed to capture that special feeling of Tolkien. Because really, the Second Age, the story I mentioned a moment ago, Tolkien sketched it out, but he didn't do it in a ton of detail in a lot of parts. So there was a lot of things where we had to very carefully excavate what he had shown us, but then also to continue to connect the dots and fill some of the gaps in where necessary. So we tried to do that in as Tolkienian a way as possible to be able to bring that light and that feeling of Middle-earth. And I could say that one of my best moments so far was we showed some Tolkien superfans about 20 minutes of the show, and we were sort of flies on the wall sitting in the back of the auditorium, and I heard someone ask, well, what did you guys think of it? And one of them said, it just feels like Middle-earth. And I spontaneously broke into tears. And I was like, that's all I wanted to accomplish.
That is amazing. Well, हम पहली बार कर रहे हैं यार, एक ताली तो मार लो हमारे लिए.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I think it's been so nice, knowing these things from you. But I really want to meet
the cast.
Yeah,
entire cast.
Totally excited to bring them out. Yeah, I'm happy to introduce them.
Shall we?
Yeah, guys, you want to start walking on out, and I'll give introductions as you do. I think first I see.
Stand up.
Do I see Nazanin Bonyadi? I think is our first one back there. So we have Nazanin Bonyadi, who plays Bronwyn.
Welcome.
Woo!
We have Maxim Baldry, who plays Isildur. We have Markella Kavanagh, who plays Eleanor Nori Brandyfoot. We have Lloyd Owen, who plays Elendil. We have Sara Zagarbani, who plays Marigold Brandyfoot. And we have Charlie Edwards, who plays Celebrimbor. And Megan Richards, who plays Poppy.
Let's make sure there's enough stage.
Poppy Proudfellow, I should say. And we have Tyro Muhaffedin, who plays Theo. And we have Emma Horvath, who plays Earien. And Rob Aramayo, who plays Elrond Peredale. And I think that's it. Everyone, one more welcome for our entire Lord of the Rings cast.